What's up, everyone? It's good to see you this morning. I'm not even in the frame and I'm talking.
Where is he?
I'm trying to mouth what you're saying, so it looks like I'm saying it.
Oh my goodness. So, I am here, obviously. I'm just behind the computer. I'm over here. See? Hello? I'm just behind
You're missing it. I'm
What?
mouthing what you're saying.
Hi.
Keep going.
But anyways, we have two wonderful ladies here, my wife and my sister, Diana and Jessica.
Ah, howdy.
So they are here to talk about dating relationships from a girl's perspective.
Holla! My favorite subject.
So it's going to be fantastic and awesome and amazing. But before we get started, we'll play a little bit of some games. Let me grab my phone's the camera this morning.
Okay, what do
you have the photos on your phone?
I do, but I'm also you're looking at comments.
Here, what do you want? Use my phone.
It's because I have the pictures from the 20 questions.
What are the 20 things? Because that one's, I kind of like that one. That's pretty popular.
Well, I don't want to do any of the ones that I already did. I didn't do all of them.
Pick one or two.
Okay. All right. I am a thing.
Pick a number. Pick a number. I'm a thing.
It's a thing.
Number 1 through 20, and
just let me know because I don't have the comments up right now because I have this.
Yes. I can't. My phone's up there. Oh, Madison said, "Oh, my two favorite ladies."
Oh, Jess, do you have the YouTube up?
Yep. Here, I'll pull
it up. Did you pull it up?
I'll pull it up.
Because sometimes the comments don't come up as fast on there.
Yeah,
comment at number 1 through 20. It's a thing.
It's a thing. We'll get this game started so we have a couple other people to get on. Madison said number 4.
Number 4. Move back 2 spaces.
Go number 5.
Number 5. My favorite cheese is mozzarella.
Favorite cheese is mozzarella.
It is a thing.
Oh, I forgot to say hello. Madison's on, Drew's on, Landon's on.
Hello.
And Fiona is on, so it's good morning.
Thank you guys for joining as well.
My favorite, what is it?
My favorite cheese is mozzarella. It's a thing. Keep guessing number.
Did you do number 7?
Number 7.
Number 7.
In New York and Chicago, I've got real style.
Oh, I know what it is.
You better know.
I do too.
If you know what it is, better
New York and Chicago, I've got style.
Pan style in Chicago.
Christian,
shush! Clues. I'm sorry.
Anybody figure it out? Connor said hi.
Hello.
Howdy.
Don't worry, PC's still here. He's just our guy in the chair today.
Yeah, behind the camera.
Number 10. I can be Hawaiian. That should be a really
this
good
should
clue.
give it away. And nobody knows it.
Come on now. Start guessing.
Come on,
Start
guessing. Throw some guesses out there. That is still really hot.
My favorite cheese is mozzarella. In New York and Chicago, I've got real style, and I can be Hawaiian.
Connor said deep dish pizza.
A little bit simpler.
That's
Fine.
close.
Yeah, it's pizza. Okay.
Woo, you
All
won.
right. Let's do... Okay, I'm a place.
Oh, snap.
I'm a place. So we're on the next one now. I'm a place. Start sending in your numbers. I feel like a
20.
telethon person. Start sending in your calls.
20. I can't do hand signals.
It's hard because you can't see what,
I know.
what the camera sees.
I know, because I'm looking at my phone, which is...
It's interesting when you don't see what the camera
You should text like Paige or something.
Oh yeah, Madison, tell your siblings to get on.
This is very important.
Yes.
Very important information.
Your life hangs in the balance.
Especially for you dudes.
Madison says 2.
We're dropping the real today. Okay, what did I say?
Madison said 2.
2. I love gossip. It's a place.
High school girls?
Oh, burn! You just ratted all y'all out.
No, it's not just, it's high schoolers in general.
It's high schoolers.
It's not high school girls. Not to point anybody out, it's high schoolers.
All right, we've got, hold on, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12.
okay.
We're
5,
8.
7, 9,
3.
12.
Hold on, 3.
3 is move ahead 2 spaces. 5 is miracles may happen here. 7 is I am sometimes full service but never self-service.
Interesting. 9.
9 is I am full of colors. 12 is for some I am just a hairy adventure.
This is a place.
Fiona
It's a
was
place.
guessing a coffee shop.
No.
That's wrong. Yep.
Number 8 is film isn't what ends up on my cutting room floor.
What's 12? Did you say 12?
12 is, yeah, for some
Okay.
I'm just a hairy
1.
1 is I have a lot of style. It's a place.
Oh, that's a good one.
The clues are interesting.
They are interesting. So,
That's interesting.
1. You said 1, right?
Yeah.
So there was 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 8, and 1.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing you want to have. Somebody keeps talking about Burger King.
It's true.
Ah.
Okay, keep guessing. Nobody's gotten it yet. It's place.
It's interesting.
I'll read through some of the ones that we did. It was I have a lot of style. I love gossip. Miracles may happen here. I am sometimes full service but never self-service. Film isn't what ends up on my cutting room floor. I am full of colors. For some, I am just a hairy adventure.
16.
16 is I can make you feel better about yourself.
19.
19 is it seems the older you get, the more often you visit me.
Oh, that's
This
funny.
is a toughie.
It's a place.
The 1 was very obvious. It's a hairy adventure.
Y'all better be getting this. They're closed right now.
17.
I like things trim.
That makes sense.
Y'all should figure this out by now. Come on.
If you say the one answer, I'll take it just because it's like, I don't know if anybody will
Come on, do
specifically
your
say that.
guesses.
It's a toughie.
Why would I say that? Because it's on the card?
Did you say 17?
17? I like things trim.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Come on, people!
Guesses.
It's a toughie. It's a toughie.
But I've given so many clues.
Man, if you're playing the real game, y'all be losing.
Losing.
Loser.
Has anyone actually ever played this game? Because it's a really fun game.
I'll just give number 20 because it's probably pretty...
Oh, Matthew said
Barber.
barber, and then
Close.
Fiona said hair salon.
You're very close, Fiona. Very, very close. It's a little bit more broad than that.
Well,
If nobody says it, I'll take it.
nobody says it within the next 10
yeah.
seconds.
Barber.
It's a little bit more broad than that. Fiona was very close.
very, very, very close.
No,
Come on, Fiona, you got this.
One of the words was right. Let's just put it that
One of the
way.
words, yes. You've got this, Fiona.
The other salon, Fiona.
Is that what she said?
No, it's just the other one.
We eagerly await your
Dun,
answers.
dun, 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 dun.
We need some like creepy music in the background, you know?
Do 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 do.
Spa and salon.
Should we just take it?
That's pretty close.
We'll take it. It was beauty salon, but we'll take it.
You guys, you're on the right
Should we do
path.
one more,
Yeah,
or should that be it since it's already 10:11?
What do we got? No, we'll get started here.
Okay, we're gonna get started.
All right, so quick updates real fast. Make sure you be part of the Remind texts so you can know when we're going live. And the Rock Studio, we're really excited what's happening.
And there
are some updates with that. This Wednesday, I've already reached out to a couple of students to be on the live stream. So get back to me if I reached out to you. And the studio, I'm trying to I'm working on figuring all this out. The Rock Studio, I'm excited for what's going to be going on there. With going into yellow phase, if you don't know what that is.
Woo!
Yellow phase, because we're allowed to meet with groups of 25 or less. So we're looking at possibilities of what we can do with the Rock Studio and still being in groups of 25 or less. So we are excited with that. We don't know what we're going to do yet, but please stay up to date.
Stay tuned.
And stay tuned for Instagram and the remind for what we're going to be doing on that.
Yeah.
So we're really excited for what is happening with that. And Rock Studios Wednesday nights instead of our actual service. It's just Wednesday nights. Yeah. All right. So anyways, with that, we are in our series of relationships. I'm really excited. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
I'm really excited to see what God's going to say this morning through our wonderful ladies here.
Maybe I should have asked you what topics were off topic and what words I should. Just kidding.
It's all on the table.
Well, yes, kind of.
Okay.
So, we'll just get right into it. So, ladies.
I'm so excited.
Sir.
Ladies.
Gentleman.
I was just gonna say gentlemen.
Ladies.
Yes.
Man.
Something you wish you knew about dating that you wish you would have known about now. From
Wait, can I see
back.
the other question just because I know there's one answer, but I might put it for one.
It's okay, don't worry about it, just talk. Something that you wish you knew about when you were in high school that you know about today that you wish you knew.
Oh,
Oh man, there's so much. That's such a loaded question.
I think one of the things is oh gosh. I know this can be taken a myriad of ways, so just don't just take it with a grain of, what is it? Grain of salt. Grain of salt. I think one of the things that I wish I had known about was that the dating is very intentional. I think that when I was younger, I just thought that, you just dated to date. And I mean, when you're younger, yeah, kind of, but the older you get in high school, I didn't really have that mindset that hey, you might marry this person one day. So I don't know. I just think that I wasn't, not necessarily that, but I just wasn't intentional enough with some of the relationships that I was in. And I just didn't really understand that dating as a whole could just lead to something completely bigger. So it was just I don't know. I think that it was never explained to me, I don't know, I'm butchering this, but I just think that we didn't talk about how intentional dating needs to be, just because it was just something that I saw in, movies or whatever. And it's oh, it's just this, random thing. And it's two people. And, if you have feelings for each other, that means you have to date. And it wasn't it wasn't shown to me in a super, I don't know, intentional way.
That's such a loaded question. I used to read dating books when I was in high school because I thought it was really cool. So I was that weirdo.
That is cool.
Yeah, I used to read a few.
Cool.
I don't recommend a lot of them, so I'm not going to tell you what they are. So, they were a lot of stuff I kind of knew, but didn't know to the extent that I knew now.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I wish had been explained to me more and taught was how not to make judgments based on my feelings. Because that's huge in the dating world. Us as females, the moment we like somebody or we see somebody who's dreamy, we're just oh my gosh, should we imagine what our wedding day is going to look like? We pick out the bridesmaids' dresses and we literally go around everything. This is the typical female, not to scare all the boys out there. But it's just, our brain just goes there.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, being taught not to just go into your feelings and not let your feelings guide you, I guess. And that is hard, especially when you're a teenager and hormones are surging and things are happening and you're developing as a person, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one thing I wish would have been explained and taught to me better, is how to not,
Yeah.
how to not do that.
Yeah. And I think too, like, another thing that's important as well, and you kind of touched on this on Friday, so like I won't harp on it, but like the whole aspect of not dating people that like dating people that don't have the same values as you do, and thinking that because you like each other it will change that. It won't. Like if you start off on that foot, it's not gonna change. Like I would like to say that it would, but honestly, been there, done that. You have to date somebody with the same values as you.
Because marriage in general, which is what happens, that ends up happening.
It's the end goal.
That's what happens. So, it's about two complete people.
Yeah.
Two whole people coming together. Not two halves.
Yes.
Okay? Two whole people coming together. You're both two individuals. You both have individual needs. You both have individual dreams. It's not, oh, we're going to come together. It doesn't say that you don't come together and you complete dreams together, because that happens too. But two whole people. Oh, I'm going to find my better half. No, two whole people. And that is like huge. And I think sometimes that's misrepresented. Sometimes.
Very misrepresented sometimes.
Especially in culture.
And something that I never really understood until later on, when Diana and I were thinking about getting engaged. This is when we were dating for over a year and a half or something like that, when we met with Jake and Katie Veach, which were pastors. Basically, we met with pastors, and we didn't understand that it was like she was saying, one of the things that Katie was saying was that you were two whole people coming together, and she explained it in a way it's like you're two warriors for the Lord coming together, to make one warrior, but like you're two whole, you're making one with the Lord, and you're making, you know what I mean? But it's like two whole warriors, two whole people coming together. And I never really understood,
because they're always like, you're my other half.
No,
because
bad
you're totally
idea.
two completely different people.
Because here's what happens when you think, oh, you're my other half. This is what's going through your brain. Oh, I'm going to rely on you and I'm going to depend on you because you have what I need.
Yeah.
No. Jesus has what you need. He's the one that totally completes you, not a man. And I think in society, especially as women throughout the ages have always, and even especially back in history, women gained status by who they married. It was always about how you married, who you married, how much money they had, what you could get from it. It was a social advantage. So I think sometimes that still plays in small ways, especially in high school. Oh, you have a boyfriend. It puts you up in this status.
He's the head football player, like
it gives you this it gives you this popularity status, or it gives you this thing, this badge almost. And what happens is you honor that instead of the man. You now are obsessed with having the status of having a boyfriend instead of actually respecting him as a man. Sorry, we love talking about this, so it's gonna.
Paige said, "Come on, Jess."
So,
I do want to say something really fast, and it may come off super offensive. You should turn but Diana will confess to this. Okay, ladies, and gentlemen,
You should just put your chair over.
Or you do have that one screen you could switch to.
Let's see if it actually looks good. No. I'll stay with
it. Okay. What are you going to say?
One of the things that I would definitely say, and this is a little bit, it kind of came up in my mind, and it's a little bit off,
you should,
but it makes sense.
Just because it looks funky to hear this voice.
One of the things...
Over here.
Just scooch a booch.
All right now.
There you go. Now everybody's so excited to get to see Pastor Christian.
Pop your head in.
Okay, so one of the things that is, I would say... We got the memo.
80 moment,
So one of the things I would say with dating and marriage in general, it's a little bit off topic, but for guys and for girls, for you guys out there, your celebrations, you know where I'm going with this.
No, I don't.
Your celebrations for like Valentine's Day, your celebrations for like anniversaries. And everything basically except birthdays, okay? All that is for both of you. Not just for one of you, okay?
Yes.
And that is something that Diana and I had to go through very well. And when I first talked to her about this, I sounded like super offensive and a straight up jerk. Because I'm like, hun, your anniversary, I go take you out and get you flowers or anything. What do you do for me? Nothing. For Valentine's Day, you do nothing. Celebrate. It's not just about you. Like, it's about us. It's celebrating us. Valentine's Day, celebrating the love that we have for each other. Or the relationship. You know, our anniversaries, it's about us. You know, it's not just about you. And when I said that, you took it all right.
Well, the reason why I took it offensively was because up until that point, that's all that society had taught me, because in all your Nicholas Sparks movies and all your movies out there and all this, it's like, oh yes, it's all about the guy, you know, getting stuff for the girl, and they never show that side where it is a relationship between two people doing things for each other, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't help. We live in a society, unfortunately, especially in Hollywood, where they make men to be pansies. And that really irritates me, because I grew up with 3 amazing men. And so, one being your fabulous youth pastor. So, women, you need to learn to respect some men. And I'm just going to tell you. And that comes out with not depending on them, not realizing that they complete you, because you need to treat them as an individual person. They are their own person, and each man is different.
Oh, we're so different than ladies. All right, we're getting out of
Thank God, though. You know, that would
on
stink
purpose.
if we were
God
the
took
same.
his personality and was like, I'm going to give this half to men, and I'm going to give this half to females.
Absolutely.
Like, you know.
Absolutely. All right.
All right.
Next
So,
question.
mistakes that were made.
How much
Ooh,
time do we have?
how dirty do we want to get? No, I'm just kidding.
I wrote down 2 things, like 2 big points of mistakes that were made. And I would say that, so this first one.
Sam.
What?
What did he say?
Ladies got real quiet after Christian took the mic.
He said JK.
But
He said JK.
the first point that I'm going to touch on, it really just came into play in my past relationships. This would not include my relationship with Christian. But if you don't, the first mistake I have made in past relationships is if you don't know who you are, you're going to attach your identity to that person.
Preach all day, man. I was going to say that, man.
Yeah, because like part of my testimony is like I used to be like super, you know, insecure, blah, 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 not confident. So when you don't know who you are, you don't know that you are, and that's just not saying like, oh, I know I'm a child of God. No, like you know who you are in him. You are rooted in him. You are going to attach your identity to the person that you're with. I have seen it time and time again. I've done it. And it's not a good place to be. So before getting into any relationship, you have to know who you are. And so that is one of the mistakes that I made. But not with you. I knew who I was when I started dating you.
Paige, yes, tell him die.
And then my second mistake that I made, and this actually was in our relationship, was not having an accountability partner. And when I say that, I mean like somebody who's actually going to be accountable to you, and it might make you angry sometimes because they're so accountable to you. Because Christian and I were each other's accountability partners.
Danger zone!
That does not work.
Red light.
It doesn't work.
Because
When feelings come to play and all that stuff, it doesn't work. So that is one of the biggest mistakes I made. So like getting an accountability partner who is like, might even be somebody that intimidates you a little bit, like a leader or somebody who you're very close with, who can just like look at you and tell you the flat out truth and be like, listen, you need to not be doing that. Or like in a way that's not just like, don't do this, don't do that, but it's in a way that's going to disciple you and to help you, not just like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Because, you know, you need to be, there needs to be a relationship there. But not having an accountability partner was definitely a big mistake.
I think for me, couple mistakes I learned. The biggest one is boundaries. Boundary/purity plan. Holy moly. The biggest thing is you gotta know before you ever, like people, I'm talking to all y'all that have never even, or not even thinking of dating somebody, and even those that are dating somebody, you may have thought of a purity plan, but my guess is you probably need to revisit that. But I'm saying, like, you need to have a plan in your mind before you ever go into a dating relationship of what your boundaries are. Because you need to be straight up with that person when it gets to that point. If you decide to seriously date him, be like, hey, these are my boundaries. I'm talking physical boundaries. I'm talking all of it. Like, emotional boundaries, you know, all of it. You need to have your boundaries lined out. And you need to be confident and do not be, the biggest thing is too, sometimes when we're in a relationship, we have these boundaries outlined and then the feelings and hormones kick in. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll change it because I really like this person. Warning! If he's going to try to make you change him and not respect you, he doesn't respect you. Get out. Run!
He wants something else.
He wants something else.
Or she. If they're,
Or she, yeah. But they do not have any respect for you. They are not putting you first. Well, they're not putting God first, technically, in their life.
Yeah.
So, run. So, that's just being straight up, being like, hey, like, this is what I'm comfortable with. Like, I remember I dated a guy, and I was like, when I was in high school, I was the weirdo that was like, I don't want to kiss till I'm married. That was a boundary that I had.
I understand that now.
And I understand it now that I'm older and that is changed. But I think in high school, that was a great boundary to have. Oh, man.
You did not keep that one. Sorry.
She totally ruined that one on the live stream.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry.
Anyway, but because I was so scared that kissing somebody would lead down to the road of two people having it out. So, it just, that was a boundary I had. And then I dated a guy that was just like, I don't know if I could do that. And I really liked him. And so I prayed about it. And God's a good God. So he talked to me about it. And I realized it was rooted in fear and not in love. But that doesn't mean I should change it. You know what I mean? And I made my decision and changed that. And then boundaries were broken and things happened because why? It didn't matter about that. It wasn't about that at all. There was no respect for boundaries. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's really important. And that's why you have to think rationally and you have to keep your emotions over there.
And there is such a thing as healthy boundaries. I think that people are just like, it's just a don't list, but
there's so many. A big one, and I'm going to be honest, I thought about this. Don't talk to men after a certain time at night. Just don't. Like, your phone needs to be turned off. Some of y'all, I'm sure, probably go to bed around 10 or 11 o'clock at night. You should be going to bed at 10 if you're after school. But turn your phone off. Give it to your parents. Like, don't. And
don't be alone in a car together.
Yes.
I tell everybody that.
Never
don't do it. Don't do it.
It's
don't
really
do it.
Dangerous.
Unless you're going to and from. Just don't do it.
But even then, when you're going to and from, make sure, like, you let other people know. Hey, we're going here. We're back at this time. You know what I mean? So you've got an accountability there.
Yeah. Another thing that I thought of, and you would probably agree with this, and because you were talking about boundaries and not only physical, one of the emotional boundaries that I thought of is don't give your boyfriend husband privileges. So, like, emotionally, like, that need that you have for them, like, oh, I need you to do this, this, and this. I need you to meet my emotional needs. That's not for a dating relationship. It's not. Like, like, to that extent at least. Like, a lot of that is for a marital relationship. So it's like, I think that a lot of times, because we see in society, like, people in dating relationships pretty much just acting like they're married, we think that that's, like, okay. And it's not something that needs to be for a dating relationship. But I'm sure you would agree with that as well, like emotional boundaries.
Oh, yeah. I was getting there.
Yeah, go ahead.
We think a lot. So that was good. But yeah, no, you don't want to give your emotions, like, you just can't. You cannot let your emotions get ahead of you. Women, just keep them in check. I know it's hard, but you know what? It pays off.
I think for everyone in general, if you don't know what a healthy relationship is,
don't
get in a relationship with anyone.
No, just don't.
If you don't understand what healthy marriage looks like, then you don't need to be in a relationship with anyone. Mm-mm. Like, you need to understand what it means to, what a healthy relationship looks like, what a healthy marriage looks like, and stuff like that. And you don't need to be in one. I understand hormones and all that stuff, and I remember. Goodness gracious, oh my goodness.
You can control yourself over there.
I was over my buddy's house, and so I was over my buddy's house, and his cousin was there, and we were all hanging out, having some fun. You know what I mean? And then we went to bed, and we were just, when you're in middle school or high school, right in that 9th grade area, and you're talking at night, before you go to bed. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're just talking, stuff like that. And his cousin, I guess, had like a whole bunch of girlfriends and whatnot. And so me, bright-eyed 9th grader, was like, I want a girlfriend. I've never had a girlfriend before. Yeah, hook me up with someone.
Wow.
Wait, okay.
So I understand, the hormones.
Well, yeah.
I understand. I don't understand the girl hormones because I'm not a girl, but I understand that there's hormones there. I understand that there's wants there.
Yeah.
Not needs, wants there.
Yeah.
And so we make these comments understanding and knowing that we've gone through them. So like, when you're sitting there and you're listening to all this conversation, and a lot of, I understand because I was in your seat. I was in your shoes. And I was like listening to, what my pastor, or youth pastor,
and you're like, okay,
Steve,
yeah, whatever.
He's talking about boundaries. Okay,
you're like,
whatever,
okay, yeah,
whatever.
That
makes sense. But then we go through it and we're like, oh.
Yeah, that's exactly mind. We're the same mind. That's exactly what I was going to say because I was like, I'm seeing some comments and I know that you guys are probably kidding, but it's like, we're not just saying this as like youth pastors saying, don't do this, don't do that, because we're coming from a place of understanding. We've been through it.
Been there.
Like...
And like, I'll be honest.
I haven't listened to my youth pastor, and I've been there.
No.
And so, like, it's important to put these things and put those things and the things that we say in place.
And it's so important because as a high schooler, I was so gung-ho, didn't want to kiss a guy, could really care less until about junior year, then it kind of changed. But, like, and I was like, no, like, men stay far away over there, don't get close to me. I was taught that it was so gross, they're disgusting, sit over there. So, it was just like, over there, no, bad idea. So I was so like, Lord, you're the only one. Purity mindset, a little on the heavy side. I was a little nutty. But, that was me. But then it's like, but then things changed and things happened. And I remember a youth leader told me, because they were going to do this purity conference thing, and I thought it was a little cheesy because I was like, I'm already there. My life is to the Lord. I don't even look at dudes, so I didn't go. And I remember her telling me, just because you think you're on the right track to purity doesn't mean you need a little extra help. And I was like, ooh, Lordy. Yeah, I didn't listen to her, and boy, I wish I probably would have gone now. So yeah, and it's okay. Mistakes happen, and we're not here to shame you if you have made mistakes,
right?
Or if you have gone too far, or if you have done things that you're not proud of. I've done things I am not proud of. I'll be the first to admit it. I have gone too far. I have done things I wish I had not. But let me tell you, and for those of you that haven't, it's a long road of recovery. Once you've gone down that path and you have crossed boundaries and you have started doing things you shouldn't have, touched things you shouldn't have touched, given your heart emotionally the way you shouldn't have given, it gets really muddy and everything gets intertwined and it gets really gross and really hard. And then when that's all over, it makes the breakup 10 times harder. And you got to then sit back and look at everything that happened, and you have to process everything and you have to walk it through, and it takes time to heal. And it's really hard to heal when you've gone through a heck of a crappy train wreck relationship, when you could have realized in the beginning when God said no, and you didn't listen to your peace, or you didn't listen to your family or friends that said not a good idea, because they know, trust me, they know. And I just, for those of you that have been doing, and I'm sure those that have gone down the path or have made mistakes can relate to that, because it's hard.
Yeah, and that's why, like, we keep reiterating that it's really good to have, like, a relationship with your, like, accountability partner or whatever, because you don't want somebody who's just going to say, don't do this, da, 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 da. You want somebody who's going to walk you through, and if you end up making a mistake, they're not just going to shame you for it, they're going to walk you through it and help you heal through it. What were you going to say? Paige made a really good point.
Made a really good comment. So, but real quick.
That was really good.
Real quick, before we get to Paige's comment, which I'm excited to talk about. But accountability partners. If your accountability partner is your friend, or if you're whatever, accountability partners, probably make it somebody who's older, because
who's been through stuff,
who's been through that. You know what I mean? Just because they're going to be able to stay truthful to you. But if somehow, someway you are accountability partner to somebody else, do not make decisions based off your feelings, because that is a whole train wreck ready to happen.
Yes.
Because if you make decisions based off of your feelings, because maybe you like that person, then that's a whole train wreck ready to happen.
I have seen that, been through that. It's disgusting.
So, like, if you're looking for a accountability partner, look for someone who is older, like,
and who has experience,
leader, like one of us,
relationship,
youth leader, somebody who is like, maybe a father or a mother figure in your life, somebody like that. It is weird with parents because it's like,
but even like a youth leader, whoever, like, just somebody that actually has gone through and has like been
Somebody
through
you
that,
trust,
you know?
You know that they trust.
Because if
you
it's your-
trust them,
yeah.
and they will make sure that
we
they
have some
see the best for you.
amazing adult leaders. So
Absolutely.
don't hesitate to get close to some. Some of you are
Absolutely.
really close to several of them. That's great. Ask them. You know, but some of you don't hesitate to get to know these leaders and ask them to be a part of your life
Because they want to help you. Their heart is for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, getting to Paige's comment, Paige said, another thing I think is big is how much time you spend with the other person. I don't know if it's just me, but you don't need to be with them every living, breathing second of every day. Make time for others. You aren't married yet.
That's good.
You are not married yet.
Yes, exactly. Your
Or
life,
engaged.
yeah, like your life in general. That's why I said two whole people, because you have to have your own life. Your life is not them. Once
So
you become
good.
in a relationship with it, I've seen it. I had a best friend in high school. I loved her, and all of a sudden she started dating, and then I would never see her. And then it wasn't until they broke up or things were rocky did she ever talk to me. I hated that.
So sad.
It was so sad. And so, like, you know, so I knew where I stood with her. She didn't really value me because my love language is quality time. So I knew instantly, oh, she doesn't really love me or care for me. I'm just there when she needs me. So, and that was really hard to swallow. And, but, you know, you do need to spend time with other people. You know, you need to spend time with your girlfriends. He needs to spend time with his dude friends. You guys need to spend time with Jesus. A lot more of it when you're dating, okay? A lot more of it when you're dating.
Even married.
Yeah.
Diana and I are married, and we still need to make time for
like
dudes
girls
make
and
time
guys.
for girls. Well,
And
not me,
Jesus.
but you know, but like I need to make time with my dude friends. She needs to make time with her
Yeah.
gal friends. I wouldn't say girlfriends because that's other people say that.
I mean, it helps that I kind of hear and we get to watch girly movies all the time. It's
Oh
great.
my gosh, it's fantastic. I haven't done that in years.
yeah, I know, because I don't like girly movies. Musicals are not a thing. Huh? You guys kind of touched on it. We're running out of time here anyway, so. But with that, I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Maybe we'll do a part two collab going into a little bit more deeper of relationship.
It'd be cool if we did it with guys and girls.
I think with guy and girl, but if we did like Christ-centered relationships, I think that's what we'll talk about next.
What they
is
look
Christ-centered, what Christ-centered relationship? Because now we kind of talked about like a girl's perspective and kind of like the worldly kind of perspective in our trials and errors that we went through, and then we talked about guys. Then we talked about girls. I think then what we'll talk about is what like a kind of godly. Christian relationship should look like. Yeah. And it's possible out there.
It is.
It's very possible. And it's a lot of accountability. It's a lot of
learning.
Truth. It's a lot of learning. It's a big learning curve. And there's moments where you guys talk to each other and you have to say the truth. And the truth hurts. You don't want to hear the truth and you walk out of the conversation.
But it will help you, ultimately.
Both crying and you're like, because I could tell many conversations with Diane and I had when we were dating, when we talked about stuff, and then next thing you know, she's crying in the car, and I'm like...
But then later on, I'm like, he's so right! You know? Oh,
both of us.
Madison said, this video will be so hopeful for my future self. And then Sam said, that being said, if your friend gets into a relationship, you don't see it as much being really mean and trying to end the relationship isn't the solution.
But real quick though, I want to make sure you guys are aware, we're not here to shame you. We're not here to do that. And I know we said a lot of things that don't do. It can sound like that. And I remember sitting in your shoes and I hated listening to the leaders.
Because it's like, they don't get it.
Don't do. And you're just like, oh my gosh. So what we need to do is focus on the yes. What is the yes? The yes is run after God with your whole heart, mind, soul, strength. Just run after him. Because honestly, if you're running after him, like, and I've heard this illustration, it's cheesy, but it works. Here's Jesus and God up here. You're running here. Here's this other person running, boom, 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 boom. Then at one point you meet and you run this way. So I don't know if that got that.
No, I like that. Yeah, the triangle.
The triangle effect. And it is. Just run after Jesus. That is your solid yes. Because purity is not about abstaining from getting it on, for lack of not saying that word. No. It's about pursuing the Lord, being pure before him, and realizing your righteousness comes from Jesus and being transformed by him. Because that's what it is. Because what happens is when you allow God to transform your heart and you live out a righteous life because you realize it's Christ's righteousness that's living in you and you are pursuing that, you won't want to do that. So instead of focusing on don't do it, focus on what I should do.
Yeah.
Letting Christ's love truly transform you. Because to be all honest, you shouldn't be thinking about being in a relationship with the opposite sex unless you are in right standing with God.
Yeah.
Straight up honest with you. So that's just, I want to encourage you. And if you have made mistakes, it's okay. It's not too late to change. It's not too late to ask for forgiveness. You've already been forgiven, which is beautiful. Yeah. So don't, mistakes happen. I've been there. We have amazing leaders. If something was triggered today, maybe you were triggered or something got brought up that maybe you haven't dealt with, because I know that's probably going to happen. Talk to one of the leaders, message one of us, or any of the leaders that even aren't here. We want to help you. We want to help you walk through it, because God designed us to live in community. He designed us to live together. That's why God made man and woman. Yeah. He wants us to be together. Whether you end up getting married or whether you're single, it doesn't matter. Like, God wants us to live in a community of believers together, because worshiping together is a beautiful aroma before the Lord. Yeah. Sorry, I had to object.
That's so good. No, that's so good. That's so
really
good.
It's very, very good.
Definitely a really good point to end on.
Because I think, in all honest opinion, when you derive your purity from don'ts, it's because we didn't defeat Satan in the grave. Jesus did. And if we don't have Jesus in us in that side of things, we're going to lose that battle. Because if we're saying don't, and it's all about our own mindset, we will eventually lose that battle. Yeah. And if we have the purity of Jesus in us and we pursue Him, we'll win that battle because He has won that.
Exactly.
So really good. It's all about victory in Jesus.
Yeah. Anyways, with that, we're going to be ending. We went a little over, so we'll probably talk a little bit more on this because there's other stuff that we need to talk about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, relationships, you can talk about relationships for
all day long. So Sarah and I, we love that topic.
So, anyways, yeah. So with that, we will end the live stream. So why don't you pray for us, Jess?
Thanks. Papa, we just thank you so much for how amazing you are and how much you just love us. Father, I thank you that you gave us friends. You gave us people to have relationship with. I thank you that you designed us to have relationships with one another and that we can worship you and how we treat one another. And Father, I just thank you so much for just the wisdom and the knowledge that you've given all of us just with being in communion with you and having a relationship with you. So Father, I ask right now that you would just touch each of these wonderful young men and women that are following you. I ask that you would just touch them today and that you would continue to reveal to them your mysteries and your beauty about relationships to them, and that they would just feel your love really close today, Father, that you would reveal just another beautiful side of your heart to them today, and that they would just experience just this beautiful oneness that they have with you. And I ask right now, Father, that anybody that just doesn't feel that, I just really feel like there's some people that are going to watch or are actually already watching. You don't feel complete. You feel broken and you feel like nobody can understand my mess. And you feel like you're too ashamed to come to the Lord. And I just want to encourage you, God's not afraid of your mess. Mm-hmm. He's not afraid of your mess. It does not scare him. He's not judgmental. And I just want to encourage you to come to the Father and just to lay it out at his feet, because he truly does love you. Mm. He's not scared of your mess. In fact, he died on the cross for you, for your mess, because he wants to be in relationship with you. So I just encourage you to reach out to one of us, send a message or something if you're like, that's me and I need some more prayer. We would love to pray with you. But I just wanted to speak that. But Father, I just thank you for that. And I thank you for what you're going to do in and through us this week, and how you're going to continue to teach us more about relationships. Continue to give us wisdom as we seek you first. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
That was beautiful.
So with that, we're going to end our live show this morning. And as always, we got to end it with a fun... Hello.
Oh my gosh.